Welcome to the worst unboxing ever. Today we are opening the most expensive piece of paper in history. It's not a diploma. It's not a Picasso. It's a bill for a kidney stone. This envelope cost more than a Tesla, and you didn't even get to keep the stone. If you want to know how a stomachache turns into a mortgage payment, keep watching. We are dismantling the scam. Meet Gray Guy. Last week, Gray Guy had a catastrophic event. He was mowing the lawn, thinking about his golf swing, when suddenly, it felt like an elephant decided to sit on his chest. His left arm went numb. The world went blurry. He was having a massive heart attack. It was terrifying. He saw the white light. He thought about all the things he hadn't done yet, like organizing his garage or finally learning Spanish. But here is the good news. We live in an era of medical miracles. The ambulance arrived in 6 minutes. The paramedics were heroes. The surgeons deployed titanium stents with the precision of diamond cutters. They pumped him full of fluids that cost more than printer ink. And they saved his life. Gray Guy is a survivor. He beat biology. He went home to his family, a little paler, a little slower, but alive. But the story doesn't end there. In fact, the real danger was just warming up. 3 weeks later, Gray Guy walks to his mailbox. It's a sunny Tuesday. He feels good. He opens an envelope from the hospital, and suddenly, right there in his driveway, his chest tightens again. He can't breathe. His vision blurs. He starts sweating cold bullets. Is it a relapse? Did the stent fail? No. It is the bill. He is staring at a piece of paper that says he owes $150,000. Doctors actually have a clinical name for this phenomenon. It is not a joke. It is called financial toxicity. The medical literature proves that the stress derived from medical debt acts as a physiological catalyst. It floods your system with cortisol and adrenaline, targeting the exact same cardiovascular system that is trying to heal. You survived the biological heart attack, only to be killed by the economic one. The first one was an accident of nature. The second one, that was a design feature of the American healthcare system. Think about how insane this is. The hospital is the only business on the face of the earth where you are forced to buy a product without knowing the price. Imagine if you walked into a burger joint. You are hungry. You order a cheeseburger and a Coke. You eat it. It's mediocre. Then, the waiter drops a check on your table for $5,000. What would you do? You would flip the table. You would call the police. You would scream that it's a scam. But in a hospital, you sign the paper while you are bleeding. You thank them for saving you. And then they send you a bill for the price of a brand new Porsche 911 because you took 2 Tylenols and slept on uncomfortable sheets for 3 nights. This system is not a public service. It is a casino. And just like in Vegas, the house is designed to win every single time. They count on you being too sick, too scared, or too polite to ask questions. They rely on the fact that you don't know the rules of their game. But that ends today. I am Blue Stewie. I am not a doctor, and I am definitely not your insurance agent. I am the guy who is going to show you how to count cards in their casino. We are going to perform open heart surgery on your medical bills. And we are going to cut out the cancer of debt before it spreads to your retirement account. Put on your gloves. It is going to get messy. So, how does a plastic bag of salt water become an $800 line item on your bill? Did they import the water from a glacier on Mars? Did a monk bless the salt? No, it is just salt and water. The reason it costs $800 is because of a secret document hidden deep in the hospital's basement servers. It is called the Chargemaster. It sounds like a villain from a comic book. The Chargemaster. And honestly, that is exactly what it is. The Chargemaster is the hospital's internal menu of prices, but unlike a menu at a restaurant, you are never allowed to see it before you order. And the prices on this list are not based on cost. They are not based on market value. They are based on fantasy. According to the Chargemaster, a single Tylenol pill costs $50. A box of tissues costs $200. The rent for the recovery room which is just a bed and a TV from 1995, costs more per night than the penthouse suite at the Ritz-Carlton. Why do they do this? Are they just evil? Well, maybe a little, but mostly, it is a game of high-stakes poker. You see, the hospital knows that the big insurance companies will never pay the full price. If the hospital charges $100, Blue Cross will laugh and say, "We will pay you 20." So the hospital thinks, fine, if we want $20, we have to charge $500. They inflate the prices by 500, 600, sometimes 1,000%, just so they can offer a fake discount to the insurance giants. It is a rigged game between two Goliaths. But here is the problem. You are not a Goliath. You are gray guy. When you walk in without insurance, or, God forbid, you have a high deductible plan, you are not invited to the negotiation table. You don't get the secret discount. You get the sticker price. You get the fantasy price. You are the tourist who walks into a carpet shop and pays the first price the merchant asks for, while the locals are laughing at you from the back room. This price discrimination is the engine of financial toxicity. The guy in the bed next to you, who has the gold-plated corporate insurance, is paying $10 for that Tylenol. You are paying $50. Same pill, same water, different price tag. They are subsidizing his discount with your bankruptcy. This is why you see those terrifying stories of a simple knee surgery costing as much as a house. It is not because the surgery is that expensive. It is because you got caught in the crossfire of their pricing war. But here's the secret they don't want you to know. Since the prices are made up, they can be changed. The Chargemaster is not a law of physics. It is an opening bid. And today, we are going to learn how to reject that bid. So the bill has arrived. It is sitting on your kitchen table like a radioactive isotope. It says services rendered $50,000. Your instinct is to panic. Your instinct is to call the hospital and beg for a payment plan. Or worse, your instinct is to put it on a credit card and pay 20% interest for the rest of your life. Stop. Do not do that. That is exactly what Gray Guy does. Gray Guy assumes the bill is accurate. But you are not Gray Guy. You are the resistance. And rule number 1 of medical warfare is simple. Never pay the first bill. The first bill is not an invoice. It is a ransom note. And we do not negotiate with terrorists until we have seen the proof of life. Here is your battle plan. Pick up the phone. Call the billing department number on the back of the invoice. Do not be angry. Do not yell. Be ice cold. When a human answers, you are going to say a specific phrase that acts like a magic spell. Write this down. You say, "I am requesting a fully itemized bill with CPT codes for every single line item." Why does this phrase work? Because services rendered is a black box where they hide the bodies. But an itemized bill is a forensic scene, and CPT codes, the current procedural terminology, are the universal DNA of the medical world. Every procedure, every pill, every bandage has a 5-digit code. When you ask for the codes, you are telling them, "I speak your language. I know how the game is rigged." The moment you make this request, the dynamic shifts. Often the bill will magically drop by 20 or 30% before you even receive it. Why? Because the billing computer knows it cannot justify charging you $50 for a Tylenol if it has to write acetaminophen 300 on a piece of paper that you are going to read. It is like turning on the lights in a dirty kitchen. The cockroaches scatter. Errors disappear because they are afraid of being caught. Once you receive this itemized document, the real fun begins. You are going to become an auditor. You are looking for 3 things. First, look for duplicates. Did they charge you twice for the same blood test because the nurse lost the first vial? That happens more than you think. Strike it out. Second, look for the upcoding. This is when a doctor spends 5 minutes with you but codes it as a level 5 complex visit. That is fraud. Strike it out. Third, and this is my favorite, look for the ridiculous descriptions. You might see a charge for a thermal therapy unit for $20. That is a bag of ice. You might see mucus recovery system for $10. That is a box of tissues. They use fancy words to hide simple robbery. Circle every single one of these. You are building a case file. You are not asking for a discount. You are just correcting their mistakes. Now take those CPT codes to the internet. Go to websites like Fair Health Consumer or Healthcare Blue Book. Type in the code, type in your zip code. It will tell you the fair market price. If the hospital charged you $500 for a chest x-ray, code 71045, but the fair price in your city is $100, you have them. You call them back. You say, I see you charge $500 for code 7145. The fair market price is $100. I am willing to pay the fair price today. They will fight you. They will say no, but eventually they will take the money because getting paid the fair price today is better than selling your debt to a collector for pennies on the dollar 3 months from now. Sometimes the bill is simply too big to negotiate. You cannot argue with a hospital that wants $50,000 for a procedure that you absolutely need to survive. Maybe you need a full set of dental implants because your teeth are failing. Maybe you need a hip replacement to walk again. Or maybe you need complex gastric surgery. When the quote from your local U.S. hospital comes in at the price of a luxury SUV, that is not a medical bill. That is a hostage situation. And for these moments, we do not negotiate. We detonate the nuclear option. It is called medical geo-arbitrage. The media likes to call it medical tourism, but I hate that term. Tourism sounds like you are buying a magnet for your fridge. This is not tourism. This is economic survival. This is about refusing to be bankrupt by a zip code. Here is the dirty little secret the U.S. healthcare lobby spends billions to hide from you. The United States has the most expensive healthcare in the world, but it does not have a monopoly on talent. We are brainwashed to believe that if we leave American soil, we will be operated on in a jungle hut with a rusty spoon. That is a lie designed to keep you paying premium prices. The reality? Many of the top surgeons in Mexico, Thailand, and Costa Rica were trained at the exact same U.S. medical schools as your local doctor. They use the exact same FDA-approved titanium implants. They use the exact same German MRI machines. But there is one massive difference. They don't have to pay for the bloated American bureaucracy, the army of insurance lobbyists, and the skyscrapers full of administrators we talked about earlier. When you go abroad, you are paying for the doctor, not the system. Let's look at a real-world case study from our intelligence files. Dental implants. Let's say you need a full mouth restoration, the all-on-4 procedure. In the United States, your dentist will quote you $35,000 per arch. That is $70,000 for a mouthful of teeth. Insurance will cover almost none of it because apparently in America, being able to chew food is considered a luxury lifestyle choice. Gray Guy accepts this fate. He takes out a second mortgage on his house. He drains his 401k. He becomes a debt slave just to eat an apple. The auditor does something different. He books a flight to San Jose, Costa Rica. He goes to a clinic that is JCI accredited, that stands for Joint Commission International, the gold standard for global safety. He gets the exact same all-on-4 procedure with the same brand of implants. The cost? $12,000. Let's do the math, because numbers don't lie. USA price, $70,000. Costa Rica, price $12,000. Difference, $58,000. Do you understand what you can do with $58,000? You can fly first class. You can stay in a 5-star resort for 3 weeks while you heal. You can hire a private driver and a personal chef. You can eat lobster every single night. And when you fly home with your perfect smile, you still have $50,000 left in your retirement account. Gray Guy stayed home, supported the local economy, and got poor. You went on an adventure, got treated like a king, and stayed rich. This applies to everything. A knee replacement in the U.S. costs $35,000. In Thailand, it is $8,000. In Mexico, gastric sleeve surgery is 1/3 the price. This is not about being cheap. This is about being smart. Why pay a premium for a system that treats you like a number when you can be treated like a VIP for a fraction of the cost? The world is big. Your loyalty to the U.S. healthcare system is an expensive tax on your ignorance. Fire your local hospital and hire the world. We have covered a lot of ground today. We watched Gray Guys survive a heart attack only to be nearly killed by the bill. We exposed the Chargemaster, that secret menu of lies where a Tylenol costs $50. We learned the magic words, itemized bill, and CPT codes that turn you from a victim into an auditor. And we looked at the nuclear option, leaving the casino entirely to get world-class care in Costa Rica or Thailand for pennies on the dollar. But knowing these tactics is not enough. You have to be willing to use them. The entire American healthcare system is built on one bet. They are betting that you are too polite to fight. They are betting that when you are sick, you will be weak. They are counting on you acting like a patient. Patients are passive. Patients accept what the doctor says. Patients sign the forms without reading them because they don't want to hold up the line. To survive this, you have to stop being a patient and start being an auditor. An auditor checks every line. An auditor knows that a hospital is a business, not a charity. An auditor treats a medical bill like a used car negotiation, not a tax that must be paid. This is not just about saving money. This is about dignity. You spent 40 years building your retirement nest egg. You sacrificed. You saved. You drove the old car. Are you really going to let a hospital administrator take 30% of your life's work just because you are afraid to ask for a receipt? I don't think so. Your health is mandatory. Going broke is optional. The biological tax of getting old is unavoidable, but the ignorance tax is something you volunteer to pay. Today, we stop volunteering. If you are ready to defend your legacy from the Chargemaster, I want you to join the resistance. Go down to the comments right now. If you have ever been ripped off by a hospital, share your story. Let's build a database of their crimes. And if you are ready to fight back, type "I am the auditor" below. Let the algorithm know that we are watching. And finally, a warning. We have secured your cash from inflation. We have shielded your 401k from fees. And now we have armored your health against debt. But there is one more trap waiting for you. It is the biggest asset you own. It is the place you sleep every night. Gray Guy thinks his paid-off house is his greatest safety net. He is wrong. In the next briefing, I am going to show you why your home might actually be a liability in disguise, and how the housing trap keeps the middle class land rich and cash poor. You do not want to miss that one. Hit the subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell. The system is rigged, but we have the blueprints. I'm Blue Stewie. Stay healthy. Stay rich. Class dismissed.